Hello, and before I begin this video, I do want to apologize for Jeremiah's audio. Whenever we were doing this interview, it seemed like everything was going fine, but then when it came to actually edit the interview, I noticed that his levels were low and that you can hear a lot of static noise, so I do apologize for this, but enough talking, let's go straight to the interview. Welcome back to another video of Sports with Chris. Today, I'm with Jeremiah Milton, Dreamland, 6-0, 5 KOs. Dreamland, how are you?
Yo, I'm doing good, Chris. How you doing?
I'm doing great. Thank you for accepting this interview and for accepting me here in Tulsa.
Yeah, man. I know you made the drive from OKC, so I really appreciate you doing that, man, while I was in town. So thank you.
So tell me about yourself. For the people that don't really know you, we know that you became viral because of a knockout you had here in Tulsa on ESPN. Tell the people a little bit about.
Yeah, so I'm from right here, Tulsa, Oklahoma, born and raised, Black Wall Street. I go by the name Dreamland. That's what I do. I send people to Dreamland. I like to call myself an artist, a knockout artist. I'm 6-0 right now in my career, 5 KOs. Still making my resume and getting out there. But yeah, I live in Las Vegas, and I've been out here doing my thing too.
And how has Vegas been, living in over there? I imagine there's a lot of, boxers, everything, boxing scene, How is it living in Las Vegas?
Oh, yeah. I mean, you know what? I never stop saying how, like, a blessed opportunity it is to be in Vegas. Just because, I'm always around, the top competitors. Most of the top boxers come through there. Even if they ain't in my weight class, there's a lot of good energy out there, people that inspire you to be around, so they keep you motivated. A lot of great fighters living in Vegas and traveling to Vegas.
And before we go into your career of, and everything, how you became a boxer, how did you become a boxer? How did this happen? Was it just like, a lot of people think that because YouTubers or social media people do it, they think they can just wake up, start boxing. How was it?
Yeah, I mean, you know what? Shout out to the people that are coming to the sport, whether they come to it late or whatever reason, bring them into the sport. I was what they would consider a late start, but I always knew that I was a fighter. You know what I'm saying? Like, being a fighter is different. It's a different mentality. And you find out soon whether or not you really got it or not, because it's not about your ability to just go out there and knock somebody out. You get hit too. So I always like to say, like, I took a lot of ass whoopings before I started giving them out. Now I'm giving them most of them out. You know what I'm saying? But I'm giving more than I'm taking. But, yeah, you got to know that about yourself. It's a real soul-searching journey. I was young whenever I was coming up, and I was doing little street scraps here and there. We had Friday night fights. So, yeah, we do these Friday night fights in my parking lot, man, just me and the homies from our little neighborhood, getting it in on the block.
And would you get paid for these, or it was just?
Shit, my brother was getting paid. I didn't know he was making money. He had me out there.
Promoter? He was a promoter?
Yeah, he was out there. Yeah. I learned real early in the game. You know what I'm saying? Like, you about to get robbed, yo, because they had dude was making money off of me, and he never let me know he was betting on me. I found out later, but it really ain't really affect me until, like, I got older. I started thinking about, like, oh, wait a minute.
How old were you around that time? How old were you?
I was 14, just turning 15, man, and
So you were young.
I was young, man. I ain't have much of identity. So, like, at first I thought I was going to be a gangbanger, you know what I'm saying? I thought I was going to, probably end up in that route just because, like, I didn't really have another path. You know what I'm saying? I didn't see another path. And people, I wanted my respect. And I ended up getting my respect in my neighborhood as the kid that had a pair of hands on him. You know what I'm saying? So that became my identity. And I loved just, testing myself in a sense of that's the same purpose as today. You just really got to find out, like, what you all made of, you know what I'm saying, what you made out of. And testing myself in that sense, it started out when I was a kid.
So even back then, whenever, there's bullies or stuff like that, you can bring that right now in the ring, whenever you're an underdog.
Oh, yeah, definitely. I mean, you know what, like, bullying is something I'm hard on just because, I experienced it to a certain extent. I wasn't always the biggest guy. And I mean, bullying too is not just verbal. It's not just physical. It's like verbal. It's a lot of different things too. Yeah. So I talk to the kids today about bullying and stuff like that, and I always let them know, like, what I'm saying, you the example.
Yes, you have to set that example. And I mean, right now, I'm pretty sure all these kids see you as a star, even though you were telling me before this that you don't feel like you're the biggest star right now, like on a big level. But, I'm pretty sure people look up to you right now.
Yeah, I mean, I realized the position I'm in. I mean, even by fighting by this name, Dreamland. I don't know if you can see it, but I'm going by this. There's a lot of weight and a lot of things on my shoulders that I carry. And I carry it with a purpose, because it's what inspires me as well. Just giving people hope, and whether it's one or two people. Shout out to everybody that came out to my run. Just this weekend, I had a run. It was called Jog with Dreamland, and at the Dreamland Festival. Yeah, so I was a part of that. It was out here, and it was a 3-day event. All the artists they did their thing. Shout out to Steph Simon, Hakeem Olajuwon. But yeah, so I mean, like, I've been out here just trying to be an anchor for my city.
And also now I want to go into your boxing career right now as how you have it. How is it when you fight in Tulsa in your hometown? How is the atmosphere? How is all that?
Oh man, it's a circus. Like, you know what? Like, all the sharks come out. Everybody is like that energy. That energy. Um, they want to see me do well. You know what I'm saying? I'm sure I got some people over there looking at me the other way too. But like, it's a lot of love in the city, and it's a lot of love for what I'm doing. Um, and everybody, you know what I'm saying? They real proud of that, and I'm appreciative of that.
I was there in your last fight, and I was surprised. There was a lot of people wearing your shirts. People, there was a person next to me. There was like a few guys. I don't know if you met them. One of them took a picture with you after your fight. He came from Kansas, and he was telling me he just wanted to see you fight. Not even Comey or Pedrosa. He wanted to see you fight, and he was really really happy that he saw your KO.
Yeah, no, I mean, I think I know you're talking about too. But the thing about it is like where it's heading, and I brought a lot of people. You know what I'm saying? They know me, just outside of boxing as well. You know what I'm saying? But I'm thankful for like to have that impact on people to where they actually want to come out and because time is short. You know what I'm saying? They could be doing a lot of other things, and I appreciate that.
Have you gotten any, new cousins, new friends because you have become, famous or you could say like popular, people that you never talk to and they're like, "Hey, what up, Dreamland?"
Nah, from around here, yo, that's definitely like what tends to happen. I mean, I had people, you know what I'm saying? I know people that like once didn't have the best things to say about me, you know what I'm saying? Maybe, commented on what I was wearing or something silly like that. Or just wasn't the best of friends in high school. But now we all good now, of course it come with it. Like I say, it's a lot of different reasons why people watch you, whether it's the excitement, you know what I'm saying, or just somebody that they could say they know. You know what I'm saying? So I don't trip on none of that stuff, man. Yo, like a lot of times, like with any of my old stuff, like we was kids then, and now we all grown men, and so, um, grown men and women. I think it's important that what I'm saying, we just be the example for who's next.
So do you try, for that not to affect you? Because, for the people that are seeing this, you are going to fight in the undercard of Jake Paul. You did post that on your Instagram. Do you try that to not get to your head? You know what I mean? Because you're going to fight on a big platform. Whatever people think about Jake Paul, he's a big platform for the sport of boxing.
Yeah, definitely. I just feel like you can't allow certain moments to get in the way of what you do. Like I'm a real fighter, bro. Like you know what? Like obviously I was doing this in the amateurs when there was no recognition, and if you knew me, you knew how I talked, or you see me come up, you see I never really shifted how I moved. Like it's funny. Like even like now they're like, oh, you 6-0. Like people that are in the game deeper, you know what I'm saying, or been. They're like, don't be worried about this. Don't ask about that now. But I'm like, why not? I feel like, I want it all. I want to have it right now, and I want to manage it well. You know what I'm saying? Like, a lot of people don't know what to do when they get attaboy. They might slow up, but that's inspiring to me. Somebody's like, yo, telling me to go, or they see me, or they call me champ just randomly in the street, like champ, dreamland, whatever they say. But like, no, I don't. I think it's just gonna elevate the person you is. Like when people come into more money, like, yo, you see some people that ain't ever did nothing for nobody. You know what I'm saying? And that's not who I am. You know what I'm saying? But when it comes to just fighting in general, yo, I would do this in the backyard again. You know what I'm saying? That's just who I am.
And talking about when you fought in the backyard, how did your family see that? Like you fighting, in the backyard. Did they care about it anyway?
My mom did not like that. It was just me and my mom's. You know what I'm saying? And I have my brothers. she even went to so far. Like I was raised in the church. She told the pastor on me, "Yo, get my son to stop fighting in the street. Like it's not good. Somebody gonna come back and do something to him." And she was right though, cause there's a lot of street beefs being squashed. But like my older brother was very respected. You know what I'm saying? I was respected, probably off association with him. But then again, like people was looking out for me in a sense to like, you know what? We want to see that boy do something. He gonna do something. He got that. He got them hands. We want. So like they didn't want to like. They almost stopped allowing me to like be like in bad situations, which was good.
Try to like protect your life, you could say, so you won't go
Yeah,
into like a
yeah,
bad
yeah. Because I
pathway.
mean, like I say, like you know, until you show something different, you know what I'm saying, you labeled as what you are. And it's people seeing something in me and they wanted me to do something different. So and I wanted different for myself, shout out to my high school teacher that kind of sent me on this journey and showed me a different path in life. Mr. Wyford, I still call him. We talk to this day. He showed me that I could do a little bit more, even if it wasn't in the realm of sports. Like I could, like I was a smart kid.
I feel like a lot of teachers unappreciated because I feel like they help a lot of kids. You know what I mean? Like they motivate them to be something in life.
Nah, facts. Like my first teacher that I remember too was in 8th grade, Mr. Cherry. I seen him the other day. Now he's like, "Yo, I'm a fan of you now. Everything is crazy." Like, but like they the first people that you look up to, whether you admit it or not. They the mentors. You know what I'm saying? That you see them every day. They're people of authority outside of you, who's in your house. So yeah, they play a big role. I was a school teacher for a minute.
And let's talk about that. How was you being a teacher? Now you're a pro boxer and like I said, pretty popular. How was it being a teacher?
Yeah, I mean, so like I say, I wasn't in there doing math or nothing, but I was physical education, San Miguel. It's a charter school. It's a Catholic school. And yeah, the kids, man, yeah, they always called me coach. They just young kids. They looking to find their way in life, and it was very rewarding. You know what I'm saying? Like, cause I know, even they still watch me now, and they see me like, oh, now he's really like out here just boxing straight up, and they like, yo, coach, we see you. It's me. Like, yo, I see them. They add me every now and then, and yeah, I'm blessed for that. Man.
Now let's talk about your career in boxing, how you live in Las Vegas and everything. And before that, I want to give a shout out to Johnny Rice for, setting this up because I interviewed him. I hit him up earlier this year. I interviewed him when he came from a win in the undercard of Martin against Ortiz. And I believe he sent you my videos, right? And, and now we're here.
Nah, facts. I mean, I'm everything Oklahoma, whether it's the city, you know what I'm saying, whether it's the panhandle, you know what I'm saying, whatever we got, man, whoever's in Oklahoma, man, yo, shout out to the people out here. But yeah, he sent me a video, dog, and I'm like, oh, this was a dope, it was a dope, like, mention of me. And then I started looking into you myself, and I'm like, oh, you from the city? Like, yo, we gotta make this happen, bro. So yeah, shout out to Johnny.
Appreciate it. Now, how is I know you talked about in Las Vegas, fighting different people, sparring different people, seeing one of the best. I know you have a picture with Canelo. Like, how crazy is that?
I mean, when you think about the entirety of life, like I say, nobody was there with me in them days back whenever I was just 14, 15 years old, just wanting to scrap. Yeah, I think it's like making a plan and then following through because, like I said, I always want to do big things. And I know the younger me would be super proud, you know what I'm saying? Me from a couple years ago would be hella proud. It is surreal, when you get to look back. Even the guys I spar with, I'm like, yo, I was watching these guys on YouTube, and now I'm like getting to work, So yeah, it's like, Jake Paul's going through it right now. We're about to fight Anderson Silva, man. Your idols become your rivals, blase. But yeah, it's real big moments when you look at the picture.
Yeah, I find that crazy. Also, when you took a picture with Deontay Wilder, and people mistake you with Deontay Wilder, actually, right?
Yeah, I get that a lot, man. Actually, I think might be the demeanor, the mannerisms. Most definitely, you know what I'm saying.
What do you do when that happens? Because I saw whenever Crawford came to Texas, he said that somebody mistaked him for somebody else, and he said it on Twitter. I forgot the guy's name, but he was like, "This dude has to be a bad motherfucker because they keep mistaking me."
Oh, yo, they got that's funny as hell, man. Yeah, who they calling TC, man? That's what I want to see. Who look like TC out there? Yo, drop a picture, man. But yeah, I take that, man. Look, I let the boy know the other day. I said, look, I'm not Deontay, but you know what I'm saying, I'm Dreamland Milton, Jeremiah Milton, and I'm coming, man. I'm on my way, you know. It's funny, like during my last fight, they were talking about Wilder, and as soon as he said Wilder, boom, I give him the right hand, and I finished the boy like in impressive style. But yeah, Wilder, man, he paved the way for a lot of dudes, man. And all respect to him, very good guy.
And now talking about your fights that you had, who is the toughest one you've had? Because we saw that KO that was nasty, and then we saw the KO you had in the last fight. So who was the toughest? Because you have 5 KOs and
I mean, I think everybody's been about the same. My approach has been different every fight. So like, you come to learn yourself as a professional. You know what I'm saying? Like, you kind of figure out like what's working for you and what's not, and the things you can do and things you shouldn't be doing. So, I'm still on that. I'm going in. Maturing into my own seasoning, like to how I'm supposed to be. But that battle with yourself and knowing yourself, that is your opponent. You know what I'm saying? Like people always ask, like, "Oh, who you fighting? Or who that?" Like I don't give these guys the light because I see that I'm the light. You know what I'm saying? So I really don't. It's all respect to them. And I appreciate them for coming up, showing up, doing what they're gonna do. But they want to beat me, and you know what I'm saying, and they think they can take my spot, and that's not happening. So yeah, I would say like everybody's been about the same. There was I don't know. I really can't call it, man. I can't tell you like who's been the toughest.
because your last fight, I know there's people commenting that I saw whenever they uploaded the weight in, they thought it was gonna be a difficult fight, and then when the fight started, I was like, man, it's kind of close, and then I know where you knocked them out, and I was surprised. I was like, damn.
Yeah, no, it's a 6 round fight, man. I mean, like I say, that's just the maturity. You know what I'm saying? I don't know. I look at it like this, man. I'm never like, you never get too emotionally involved into the fight, man. I'm not going to tell all my strategies to how my mental work, but for me, in that fight, I was just taking my time to set it up and open up. You know, I don't know. People want you to come out and just go crazy, but I don't think that's how I approach the fight unless, you have to do certain things when it calls for it.
Do you think that many people have like I don't know how to say it, where they think heavyweights are just like this, like they only have one punch power, they're only like this? Do you think that's what people think about you? Like whenever they go see your fights, like, oh, heavyweights only have one punch power, they're not actual boxers. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no. I mean, you know what? You got to really like, if you know boxing and you know boxing, if you're watching it, you can see some of the things I'm doing and breaking down and stuff. And like I say, yeah, people will love the knockouts. You know what I'm saying? That's what they expect from a heavyweight. They expect, but like I don't go in there and focus on the knockout. I just create them. Yeah, you gotta wait for it to come. Like you know what I'm saying, or you create it. You set a trap. You do something that's gonna get a reaction out of him. You gotta figure out like what is he doing? What is he trying to do to me? Blase, blase. And then when the moment arises, then you just take it.
But like I said, I think it's like a stereotype of just like, you know what I mean? Also, like whenever like lower weights, like with Bam Rodriguez and stuff like that, they're like, oh, they just hate each other, but they don't knock each other out. You know what I mean? Lower weights, but
I mean, for the most part, yeah, there's a lot of truth in that. You know what I'm saying? Like, you won't you won't see heavyweights, throwing a whole bunch of punches most of the time because like honestly, it's a risky game, man. If I go down to the body and I'm working, you know what I'm saying? Boom, boom. I get hit up top with one hard slug, and now I'm looking crazy.
and we saw that against Ortiz and Martin whenever Martin got caught and he dropped Ortiz twice. So that was something crazy.
Nah. I mean, like I say, every time you fight, you sign that Muhammad Ali contract. It just says like, yo, I'm aware that I could die here tonight, and that's on me. So like when you go in there thinking about that and you see what happens in this sport, like, you gotta be smart. You gotta be smart.
Are you scared that you could die?
Nah. I mean, that's the civilian brain talking. Once you start thinking like that, in a sport like this, when you start thinking of the drastics, the extremes, then maybe you need to go ahead and get ready and do something else because you're gonna,
Play golf.
yeah, you know what I'm saying, like the tennis, you know what I'm saying, maybe basketball or something. Um, go get some hobbies.
Yeah.
You know?
And how does your family view it now? Does your family ever, your aunt, your mom, do they ever see it like whenever you get hit? How do they feel? You know what I mean?
Now, of course, they don't want to see you get hit. Luckily, I'm not getting hit like that. But in the same sense, like my mom is like one of the biggest like supporters. She got into it with somebody after fights because they was here for the other guy, and yeah, she was up there beefing. I didn't even know about it. I like, Mama, they gonna say that. She was wearing my Dreamland jacket, and they was like, Dreamland going to sleep tonight. And so she ain't one with the sarcasm. She ain't one with none of that funny stuff. So yeah, she was up there popping off, and then of course she got to like rub it in after I knocked Buddy out. But I said, Mama, come on, man. People gonna say that's what they gonna do. That's the sports.
Yeah, even at that Tulsa event that I went to a few weeks ago, there was one of the first fights. Their parents were there, and I thought it was, it was something crazy because her mom was like telling everybody, "Oh, my son's gonna knock this dude out." You know what I mean? The amount of belief they have for their son is crazy.
Yeah. I mean, you know what? Like, why would it be any other way? You know what I'm saying? Whenever I fight, my family better treat it like the Super Bowl, man, because I would be right there for them whenever they do great things. Um, so like, if that's the only energy I allow around me, if I see people and they not really like, because I'm trying to be great, and I'm becoming great. So like, yeah, you gotta have that type of like they gotta believe it more than me almost.
Yeah. And how many years do you see yourself winning a title?
I feel like I always say my career gonna move faster than other people because I take the risk. You know what I'm saying? Like a lot of people will hold off before taking a certain fight or doing this or doing that. Um, Look, I've only been doing this for 5 years, 3 years as an amateur, 2 years as a pro during a pandemic, and we still like getting a lot of clout. We getting a lot of recognition because I've went and I've made myself known in the boxing spaces, and people know about me more. But the TV is starting to find out about me, and you can't hide talent, so it's coming to light.
And talking about the pandemic that you just mentioned, how did that go? How was it? Did it affect you in any way?
I mean, honestly, I would just say it messed up more of my money. Actually, like just like anybody else, you're not working. You know what I'm saying? You're not the plan. We had to pivot. You know what I'm saying? And I had to make the biggest pivot. I feel like my team is my team, but like I took a lot on the chin with this pandemic. You know.
Yeah, something that was coming, and everything was closed. Boxing, everything in general. So yeah, something difficult. Now I want to close this down because we do have a short limit of time. But Dreamland, thank you for being here. Thank you for taking this interview. Thank you for letting me be here because this is, for the people that don't know, my first sit down interview, my first face to face interview. It is totally different from a Zoom meeting, But thank you so much.
Oh man, yeah. When you messaged me and said you was coming down, man, I really appreciate that because it's so much better to be personal. I do a lot of Zoom meetings from time to time, man. But questions, everything's been solid. Yeah, for the first interview, bro, I'm glad it was me, man. You crushed it, man. Represent Oklahoma, and yeah, shout out with Sports with Chris, man.
And my respects for everybody that does podcasts because I did not know how hard it was to do like a sit down interview. It's totally different from like a Zoom meeting. You know what I mean? I've never actually done this. So, man, my respect to everybody on the podcast. That people that think it's easy, it's not.
Yo, solid, brother, man. Thank you for coming down, man.
And give Dreamland a follow if you guys haven't. Can you please say your social medias, your Instagram, your TikTok? I know you have a TikTok.
Yeah, I do got a TikTok, dog. You might have to teach me something on that, man. I don't know what I'm doing, but I'm getting like 5 likes. Hey, no, I don't rarely be on TikTok, but most of my socials, you can find me at everything, usually Dreamland_Milton or Dreamland Milton. So on IG, that's where I be popping off the most, Dreamland_Milton.
You know what I think is crazy? You went viral on ESPN and people didn't, whenever you posted it on TikTok, people didn't like it. You know what I mean?
Dude, I'm talking about like I don't know what I'm doing wrong, dog. Like, yeah. Like,
I was like, that's him himself. I'm like, that's my knockout.
yeah, man. I don't know. Like Top Rank and ESPN, they never tag me in this stuff either, man. But it's all right. Top Rank do it, but for the most part, man, that viral it picks up and people send it to me all the time, man. 50 Cent recognized me off of it. It was a lot of love, man. I don't know, man. Like whenever I post it myself, you know what I'm saying, it do all right. It do good on Instagram, but I've kind of figured the real game out. I don't know what that is about, but
You gotta teach me a little bit on that because I'm not that good on Instagram Reels. Also, I always see that ESPN uploads it like several times. They upload it.
dog, like
That's their
it'll
favorite
never
video,
die,
I guess.
man. That fight right there is, remember this when I say that fight right there is gonna give me a bag. I'm gonna get $1 million for that fight one day. For that fight, that highlight alone is gonna bring me $1 million. I was speaking it.
And now let's actually wrap this up. Anything you want to say to the people looking at us on Instagram, on YouTube, on TikTok that we hit 15.6K? Anything you want to tell them?
Yo, I mean, shout out to everybody that's really just tuned in and supporting everything. Everything you're doing, everything that I'm doing in my career. Especially being from out here, man. Going and getting into all these different spaces. Yeah, I'm a man of the people, and I appreciate anybody who's took a look just to see what I'm doing. So thank you.
And for the people that don't know, Anderson Silva against Jake Paul, you're gonna be on the undercard.
That's it.
All right, thank you so much. Thank you for being here, and thank you, Jimlin.